natural chemistry and was appointed head of the unit.
It was a different time, you know. That was colonial times, and local people, there was always the problem raised that you're not well qualified, you're not qualified enough. So I made sure that I had the best qualifications.
Dr. Ahmed spent 40 years at the University of the West Indies, where he worked tirelessly in teaching and establishing new soil science courses.
I built here over the years what was a first-class department. The people from anywhere, America, Canada, anywhere in Europe and so on, when they came here, and they looked at what we had, our equipment and so on, and saw our work, they were always very amazed how they said, you know, we are not so well equipped, nor do we do this kind of work in our own developed place.
His work on tropical soils gained him international recognition. He had the honor of publishing a chapter in the definitive book Soil Genesis and Soil Taxonomy 1983. For his contributions to our region, he was awarded the IICA, Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture, Gold Medal in Agriculture in 1995. Dr. Ahmed has served as a consultant on soil and land use problems in almost every developing country in the world, including Malaysia, Philippines, Senegal, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Nigeria, to name a few. Now retired, he is still active as a consultant, and in his free time, he enjoys woodworking, gardening, and auto mechanics.
I would like to advise children to go, not to ignore the basics. They're all grounded in physics, chemistry, and maths. And any child should make sure that they are as grounded in these subjects as much as possible.
Joseph Edsel Edmonds, nematologist. Dr. Joseph Edsel Edmonds is a scientist, artist, author, poet, educator, and diplomat. A true Renaissance man who believes that all disciplines are grounded in science.
Well, life in St. Lucia in my time was very exciting, very, very simple. We didn't have the level of technology that you now have. There was certain purity in growing up. It was quite an enjoyable youth, I must say.
He was expected to study the arts at St. Mary's College, but this posed a difficulty to young Edmonds.
The major thrust of the high school then was in the arts. You had to know your French, Latin was still taught, and of course English literature. But somehow or other, I just got a calling for the sciences.
Despite wanting to study law or medicine, he accepted a scholarship to the University of Puerto Rico to study agriculture. In 1961, he completed his bachelor's in agronomy and then went on to Cornell University of the USA, where he obtained a master's in plant pathology and a PhD in nematology, the study of roundworms. His work in nematology has been pioneering.
Nematodes, as you know, are microscopic worms. They're about 0.3 of a millimeter in length. And a lot of people in the Caribbean didn't know what they were or what they are. So the challenge was there, and when I was doing my PhD, I had to specialize in something. And it occurred to me that, well, I'd never heard of nematodes before until I studied plant pathology. And I suspected that we probably have problems. And so I decided to specialize in nematology.
Due to his expertise in nematode management, he served as a consultant in the South Pacific, Cameroon, Latin America, and Nigeria, among other locations. His contribution to nematology was recognized in the naming of a nematode, Longidoris edmundsi, in his honor. He also received the Order of the British Empire, OBE, for his contribution to science.
My greatest achievement was the fact that a British scientist who observed a worm for the first time, it had not been described. And he came to me and asked me whether he could name it after me. I looked at the worm. I must say I wasn't too impressed with the look of the worm, but nevertheless, it was quite an honor.
Branching off from research science, he became a diplomat. He was the former ambassador of St. Lucia to the United Nations, the Organization of the American States, OAS, and the USA. He was also the Dean of the Caribbean Diplomatic Corps. Dr. Edmonds also writes poetry, paints and studies reflexology and Reiki. He has already published a book of poems called Many Horizons and has over 100 paintings. This enigma of human spirit can be best understood through his poetry, which he confesses is an expression of his inner self.
The world needs hands extended to help when in need, to touch with feeling, to give to those who seek. I go beyond and extend both hands across latitudes and longitudes in global embrace, joining other hands in love and peace across the world. So should we all.
After an illustrious career in science and the diplomatic service, Dr. Edmonds is living proof that learning never stops.
I used to tell myself, there'll be nothing left to be researched on because it's all researched on already. But the more I studied, the more I realized there's so much that we do not know.